Hey, welcome back to Everything Reselling. I'm your host, Glam, and today we're back at Rant Rack. Yes, it's the favorite time of the month where we do the Rant Rack stories. That's right, we're airing out all of our grievances, roasting the platforms, and calling out the nonsense. It's therapy, but makes it resale friendly. So here we go. First rant, lowball offers. Oh my goodness. If you guys are in any platform, you know the lowball offers. You know the ones where your item is for $40 and you get an offer for 5 and then they message you, would you take that? Or hey, what's the least you would take? You know, those lowball offers, the ones that will make you want your hair to pull out, so then you might send back and offer, oh, just a couple cents higher. You know, if your offer was at 40, you'll send it back at like 39. And then you just play that back and forth game for a minute before you block the person. Yeah, that one. Sure, you're just losing money for the vibe, but why not kind of, think about it for a minute. If it's making you money, not obviously a $5 and a $40 item, but you get the point. And you just want to just vent to them and be like, are you kidding me? But obviously we can't do that, right? So we just kind of go in the back of our minds while we're sending a little message. Forget you, you psycho. Why do you have to be this way? Because the platforms love the interaction, and if you just block the person right away for their insanely low offer, your closet then gets penalized. So you always have to answer back with something nice and kind, right? Ugh, so irritating. Rant number 2, you guys. Platform glitches. Oh my goodness. Let's talk about those platform glitches. You know, where your items disappear for 2 hours on eBay? Or what about the fact of Poshmark still being in the stone age of where you have to share constantly to get any likes to your closet or any sales or anything, and you still have to participate in the parties live. Can't do it with a bot because they want the actual human interaction. Yeah, so irritating. And then Macari. Ugh, the crashing when you're looking at it too hard because you're trying to find that item on Macari, hoping you can get a better deal. Because, there's not as high of fees on Macari as there are on eBay, so people might be a little bit cheaper. And then Facebook Marketplace, just all that we can say to them is, why? 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 Need we say more? Then we have the buyers who don't read. Ugh, these are probably everybody's favorite buyer. You go through all this trouble to describe an item. You go through all this trouble to take pictures of it. You show every angle. You show that it's stained. You show that it's scuffed. You show that it's worn. You show every single item and even write as is in there and has a stain, so that way the buyer knows what condition it is, and you still get those message of what condition is this. Or the best one yet is when you get those reviews that sit there and say, oh, this item was scuffed up. And you're like, yes, and it said it was scuffed up and there were pictures of it. Even though on some of the platforms like Poshmark, a 2-star does not hurt you, you still rack your brain trying to figure out where these people came from, because how did they miss the fact that those had a scuff on them? You took a picture, you described that they were worn and that there's some damage to them, and they still complain. What is wrong? Are people just looking at pictures? Oh no, because if they were, they would see the scuff marks or the tears or the rips or the stain or whatever the situation is. Are they just reading the description? No, because if they were doing that, they would then read. So what are they doing when they're buying your item? Are they just randomly blindfolded and clicking and buying, saying, hey, I know my size is going to be popped in automatically because I have that turned on, so all I have to do is just randomly pick items? Like, what is the deal? Please, someone explain, because this one is still baffles me every single time. I don't understand it. Or there's another great one. When someone buys your item and then after they buy it, then asks you information about it. That one's great too. That's kind of on the same timeline. So why don't you guys submit your worst rant that you have? I only covered a couple, so I know there's a ton more out there, and I'm sure you've got your horror stories of the wonderful rants and the wonderful customers that you get on a daily, a weekly, a monthly. I'm sure you could write a book just on rants. about customers and some of the thoughts that they've had or the things that they've said where you're just like, where's this coming from? I know I took a picture. I know I listed it. I know I showed it. What is going on here? Because there's something wrong. And maybe a buyer can message and tell me why they literally, what are they looking at? Are they blindfolded when they're buying? Because I don't want to spend 3 hours on a listing if you're not going to read it. Let's be honest. And we're just going to have to forcibly return it anyways. So why are we spending all this time? You cannot tell me it's because of the SEO. Because the SEO, especially like on Poshmark, it only counts the first like 100 words on your description. I'm sorry, 100 characteristics on your description. So everything beyond that is just filler. So what is it? Because I really, really want to know. This is the one that I really need to know. So make sure you guys message me, send in your funny, ridiculous, painful, memorable reselling moments that you've had. You can keep them coming because those are awesome. Okay. It's not all bad, right? We can't just end this episode on just it all being bad. A shout out to the buyers who pay full price, don't ask questions, and leave a 5-star review with a heart emoji. You're the real MVPs. And that is so true. You get those golden, we call them golden gooses, a lot of people do, or the rare unicorns that pay full price. They love everything, and they actually appreciate all the little things that you do to make sure that their package gets to them safe, sound, and secure in exactly the way that they wanted it. Those ones definitely are the MVPs. We love those buyers. We wish there were more buyers like that, but unfortunately, that's like a 1 in a million buyer. So when you get one of those buyers, make sure you give them the extra little kudos. And I'm not talking about just praising just them, but treat every buyer like they're going to be that way, because you never know who's buying from you or what they're buying from. So hopefully that you guys have an amazing rest of your week. And again, you guys got those rants, send them in. You guys got a great story you want to share, send them in. I'm all about them. Until the next episode, I will talk to you guys later.